Let's talk about the type of motions. The first one is a pure translational motion, the second one is rotational motion, and the third one is rolling motion. The rolling motion is the combination of rotational and translational motion. In the translational motion, we can see that the lower point of the wheel, the center of mass, and the upper point, all the points are moving in the forward direction with the same velocity, that is VCM, that is velocity of the center of mass. In this, we see that the wheel is rotating in clockwise direction. So the tangential velocity, if omega is the angular velocity, so the tangential velocity at every point is omega r. So at the top point it is omega r, at the lower point it is omega r. The center of mass is at rest as it is moving around the axis which passes through its center of mass. So the center of mass is bound to be at rest. But when these motions combine, this translational motion and rotational motion, it gives birth to the rolling motion. In rolling motion, we can see that if we connect these type of motions, the lower point will have the VCM in forward direction but omega in the backward direction. So velocity will be equal to, resultant velocity here will be equal to VCM minus omega r. But we see that if the rolling motion is without slipping, the lowest point or the point the tire touches the ground, it is at rest. So VCM is equal to omega r. So this point is at rest. This point omega r is equal to 0, but in translational motion it is equal to VCM. So this point in rolling motion, as it is combination of these two motions, the center of mass moves in forward direction with VCM. In the upper point, the top point of the wheel, omega r and VCM are in the same direction as omega r is equal to VCM. So the top point has the velocity twice VCM. Now let us look at the photographs shown at the beginning of this video. In the first photograph, we have a wheel. That is in rolling motion, we have put a light in its center and put a light on its periphery. We see that during the rolling motion, the center of mass or the central point, that moves in a forward direction continuously, so the line is straight. The upper light moves in clockwise direction, so the waveform of the light is like this, and that is 2 pi r. At the second photograph, that is a photograph of the rolling wheel. The upper side of the wheel has large velocity, so it is somewhat blurred, and the lower part of the wheel, the velocity is less, so the spokes are clear. Okay, thank you.